What up? So Super Bowl just finished. We're about an hour and a half removed from game time. Chiefs, congratulations. Chiefs fans are going to be absolutely unbearable for the next offseason. Not that we're not used to that anymore. But yeah, personally, wanted the Eagles to win. Doesn't go that way. It's okay. Didn't really have a fair say of either one. I mean, really, I don't care who won. I do think the Eagles kind of got sold out there for a second. There was the questionable holding call on James Bradbury. He claimed it himself that it was a hold and he was hoping to get away with it. However, personally, I'm not too sure that's true. I mean, he's going to take the blame as he should. That's respectful to his teammates, telling them that he feels like he was the issue. Probably going to be good for that locker room, but it is what it is. The announcers were talking about it then. Something that should they have gotten away with it? Maybe, who knows? But it really just messed up the flow of the game. Felt like it was a really bad place to intervene from the referee spot. But it happened. That gave them, the Chiefs' offense was stalling out at that point, and that gave them the chance to come back and step ahead of the team. But, that's only one part of the game. The Eagles blew a major lead. They had a 10-point lead going into halftime. However, that may or may not have been fair. The Chiefs looked like a shell of themselves in the first half. You'd be lying if you said anything different. I don't really think Mahomes deserved the MVP. I don't know who did. Maybe Kelsey, maybe Nick Bolton, but it's still interesting nonetheless. Mahomes had he had a total of 3 touchdown passes. 2 of them were very questionable. I don't really think that 2 of them should count in a way. They're obviously his touchdown passes. I'm not saying they're not, but one of them was to a wide open Kadarius Toney on a play where he just lost Darius Slay pre-snap, and that's great. He did the easy throw, but should he be awarded for an easy throw like that? It was basically that one and the Sky Moore touchdown were both. The defense messed up, and the offense just did the right thing. That's what you would expect them to do, I guess. But, yeah, it's just, who really expects that to be a surprise? He did the right thing. He didn't mess up. That gives him the MVP, I guess. But had Nick Bolton not recovered that touchdown, or recovered the fumble in the first half for a touchdown, they wouldn't have probably been in that game, and I think that would have looked a lot different. The Eagles had 0 defense in the second half. They lost. Those 2 plays alone were absolutely detrimental. Prior to that, they also didn't stop them, other than they did get them from the red zone and stop them from the red zone on, but then those messed up play coverages by Darius Slay, and I'm not sure who the one on Sky Moore was. And then on the Juju hold by James Bradbury, he also, the Chiefs offense was really stalling out, but they got away with it because of the hold. That's my problem with the game. The Chiefs were definitely on a roll. They were definitely taking the Eagles' spot from the momentum they had in the first half, but it felt wrong. Didn't seem like it was the right place for that. Too much of an intervention on the ref's part. But continuing off of that, like I said, Chiefs, they did deserve it. They played better when it mattered as a team. Not sure Mahomes, 3 touchdowns, yeah, but 2 of them were just the obvious touchdown point. So we'll see. That's probably controversial, but don't really care. This playoffs overall was kind of a surprise, I think. There's a lot of things that happened that didn't necessarily line up, mainly on the AFC side. I feel like a lot of people didn't think the Bengals were going to repeat, including myself, and not necessarily go to the Super Bowl, but just success in general. I think the Bills definitely fell off in the wrong time. Wish that didn't happen. Wish the Bills did better, but it happens. The Bills are going to be an interesting team to watch this next year, as they're probably going to fall off on more scales than one. I think the locker room might be a little bit of a question mark from here on out. I wonder how they're going to recover off of that too. But yeah, the AFC, it's strong with the Chargers and Herbert. Obviously the Chiefs. The Bills, they're still going to be good, but can they get back to where they were is my question. The Bengals are good. The Ravens are going to get worse, I think. unless they do something just out of pocket. But there's a lot of other teams that just are on the fringe that I don't really feel like they matter. The Jaguars right now, they could prove me wrong on that, and I'm open to that. But just at the moment, there's not a contender there. But then the NFC is weak. It's boring, honestly. The Eagles, I think they're going to be good still. I don't know if they're losing many players, the key players this offseason. I know Javon Hargrave is one that'll leave, probably going to leave. And he was a big part of their defense this year. But other than that, I'm not sure who they have off. I don't know if Hassan Reddick's on a one-year deal or not. I don't think he is, but I could be wrong on that. And then you have other guys like, Jalen Hurts, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Goddard. All their offensive weapons are intact. They're staying put. Miles Sanders will leave, but honestly, they didn't use him at all in this game anyway, so might as well just let him go. Kenneth Gainwell did his job and probably better than he would have done it himself. He had negative rushing yards for at least half of that game, so he clearly is gone. The rest of the NFC, though, the Cowboys, but who trusts anything they do? And then we have the Niners, but they don't have a quarterback right now. Now, earlier today, I did see something saying, I don't remember who the reporter was, but the Ravens would be open to trading Lamar Jackson for a plethora of picks. Personally, I'd be really interested to see where San Francisco lands on that. I think Trey Lance is something that the Ravens could be interested in terms of getting back in return for Lamar. They don't have a lot of draft capital. I'm pretty sure the first pick this upcoming draft in 2023 is in the 5th round, so that's going to be tough. But, I'm sure they have picks in the future they'll be willing to give up for a guy like Lamar Jackson. I'm not personally sure he's the best quarterback, but he's certainly better than anybody they have right now. And if they're not going to get a Rodgers or Carr or something of the sorts like that, I would say Lamar's better than Carr, but that's not my point. They'd have to give up more to get Lamar than they would Carr, so I think they prefer that in a way. But yeah, the NFC, it's really weak. It's kind of sad. The Vikings are fraudulent. They're not going to be anything continuous, I don't believe, unless they really make a turn on that defense, but that's for another thing. The Lions they're a good story. I wish they were better. They're not going to be, though. But yeah, other than that, I really think that a lot of the teams, I don't think there would be a whole lot of surprises next year. I could be wrong, but it doesn't really feel like there's going to be a team that can just jump that high. Example, like a team this year, like the Jaguars, they got 2 straight first overall picks, and they turned it into a playoff run. That's great. You also had Trevor Lawrence, part of that. This year, I don't think there's anybody coming into the league who's going to be able to be a high-end pick and immediately make their team from a top 5 pick to a playoff team. Unless somebody trades up and really like a team like, I don't know, Miami somehow trades up and gets Will Anderson. They're already basically a playoff team, but then, so that doesn't count because they're not a real top 5 pick. They traded into that, but I think you get the point. The Eagles, I hate it for them. They did do it to themselves. Their defense couldn't do anything. Their offense slowed down in the second half. I think they're going to be fine. They do have a lot of age on their D-line, and that was one of their big strengths this year. Fletcher Cox, Ndamukong Suh, Linval Joseph. Even Javon Hargrave is about 30. But they're going to lose him for sure, barring something of them pulling out. They can bring him back. I don't think it's going to happen without clearing a lot of space, and that's going to be very costly. James Bradbury is another guy they're losing. That's a controversial name right now, so who knows if that's going to matter or not. Either way, the NFC is weak. I don't think that division is going to stay as strong as it was this year. The Giants are great, but with Daniel Jones, I don't think they have much more they can do. The Cowboys, I'll admit, they kind of showed me up this year, but they're still the Cowboys, and Dak Prescott's not going to win anything. So, other than a Walter Payton Man of the Year award, which is great that he got booed in the stadium while getting the Walter Payton Man of the Year award. Other than that, I think the NFL this season is going to look a lot like it, or next season is going to look a lot like it did The NFL next season is going to look a lot like it did this season.